New at 6, scientists have said it. Sea levels are rising and parts of the Bay Area are becoming more vulnerable to flooding. KPIX5's Notarangelo on the historic step San Francisco is taking to protect some very valuable property. Ann?
Well, Mission Creek is one of the lowest lying spots in San Francisco. So if there is flooding, it's going to get hit first, and it's likely to be hit the hardest. That is, if nothing is done to stop the rising sea level. What makes Mission Creek picturesque is also what makes it vulnerable to what scientists say is the gradual but inevitable rising of the sea.
There's some places where you could have water 3, 4, or 5 feet deep.
What's good for the sand crabs isn't always good for people. This Port of San Francisco map shows the nuisance flooding facing the city's waterfront today. By 2050, the encroaching waters are predicted to flood farther inland, affecting even BART and Muni. And look what's forecast for the end of the century. If nothing's done, Mother Nature will have reclaimed her land, potentially flooding back to the city's original shoreline. And that doesn't take into account what happens when the Bay Area gets a storm surge.
We're visioning creative solutions that will create resilience in that entire region.
David Bihar with the SFPUC is part of a citywide team brainstorming ideas to protect people and property from the expected flooding.
When we're looking at the waterfront of San Francisco, which is this priceless resource, it's one of the things that makes San Francisco what it is, we need to think short-term, medium-term, and long-term.
There is talk of taming the sea with levees or tidal gates, or even closing off Mission Creek like they did Oakland's Lake Merritt.
It's way too early to say what the best solution is, but there's everything from building a wall to much softer solutions that actually incorporate land and water and rising seas.
Something like a levee covered in grass with a path and a playground. This photo could be wishful thinking if nothing's done, but San Francisco has committed to doing something, even if it's not clear what.
Think about what's likely and think about kind of worst case scenarios, because we need to be prepared for both.
And we should point out that the experts have decades to prepare for the potential for flooding. In fact, the projects that we're talking about today are likely to continue into the next century. In San Francisco, Notarangelo, KPIX 5.
Experts say preventing flooding could cost between $1 and $5 billion, but because there are no plans drawn up, it's really only a guess at this point.